This is Rough Translation, with far-off stories that hit close to home. I'm Gregory Warner. The fabric on our faces has us all asking a lot of questions about how we're supposed to be with each other. Like, when you pass a stranger on the street, do you turn your face from them because that's the safest way to be? Or do you look them in the eye, cross that 6 feet distance with a smile or an eye crinkle, as if to say, look, this isn't normal, but we'll get through this together? Because we're told that wearing a mask is something we do for each other, not for ourselves. And yet it can feel like it's just separating us from our neighbor. We're back with Rough Translation. I'm Gregory Warner. Eleanor Beardsley is our NPR correspondent in France, and she says that before the coronavirus, the law prohibiting covering your face was serious and impossible to ignore.
It's sort of an obsession here because there's this poster that's on public buildings and even on the gym I go to with a picture of Marianne, who is the symbol of the French Republic, and it's like a statue, and it says the Republic lives with its face uncovered. And you go in any place and often you see a sign that says no head coverings and no face coverings here. I would go into the gym to go to my gym class, and I'd ride my bike there, and so I'd wear my bike helmet, and I would be at the desk just showing my card, and they would say, Madame, you have to take off your helmet. And it was just so obvious. Of course I'm going to take off my helmet. I'm not going to keep my helmet on. But for me, it just demonstrated this sort of, people don't even realize it, but it's become sort of ingrained that you don't cover your head, you don't cover your face. It's just not something you do in France.
And the funny thing is, this belief is not that old. It came out of a series of national debates about French identity that happened a decade ago.
And I went to a couple of them. They would be like town hall meetings, and people would show up to say, what does it mean to be French?
And wait, so why does covering your face suggest that you're not French?
Well, it leads back to Islam, whether anybody wants to say it or not.
One of the most talked about subjects at these debates was something that directly affected relatively few French people, and that was the niqab, which is the Muslim face covering that hides the nose and mouth, often just leaves a gap for the eyes. French officials wanted to ban it.
Some people said you should have the right to dress how you want. You can wear a mini skirt. How come you can wear, we have these billboards showing women half nude in France, and they really are annoying sometimes. Lingerie ads. I mean, they're practically naked, so you can have those in public. There was that whole aspect of we're having this fight once again around women, what they wear, their bodies, etc.
France has its own version of what it means to separate church and state. Just a few years before these debates about face coverings, France had prohibited the wearing of any religious symbols in a public school. So no yarmulkes, no large crosses, no hijabs, and definitely no niqabs. But officials in these national debates wanted to go even further. They said that the niqab, the face covering, should not be allowed anywhere in public. And with the threat of terrorism, they said, the niqab was a security risk.
When you speak with someone, you should be able to see their face.
We wanted to find a French niqab wearer to talk to us for this story, but there are so few of them, and it is still illegal. So we did talk to a woman in Melbourne, Australia, named Manal Shihab, who wore the niqab happily for 21 years.
I do love it. And I do have it sitting in my drawer. I have a few different colours. I've got purple and blue and green, and it's not necessarily black.
Manal is a counselor and advocate for women who've suffered domestic abuse. And she actually stopped wearing the niqab 2 years ago because it was bringing too much attention to her, taking away attention from her advocacy work.
Eyes were on me because of my niqab. So I thought, that's it, it's coming off. This niqab is a barrier now for me to support other women.
But sometimes she misses it, and she'll put one on just to go out and be out there in the world.